I'm kind of with Gino on this. So if
Of
you
course.
if you don't have, well, I'm going to look at it from this perspective. If you
Yeah.
have rules, they need to be enforced the way that they're designed, right? Like you can't sit there and make exceptions. You can't be lenient about it because you're going to say things like, well, everybody does it and this is common and it's see that then you need to just eliminate the rule. You know, why have a rule that you're not really going to enforce or act on? Like the punishment, which the way I'm getting the impression is little to nothing for the people who committed the transgression. So if that's the case, then there really should be no rules. You know, it's like it like in certain, like there's certain movements in the UFC. It's like 12 to 6 elbows. There's all these rules. You can't poke eyes, but then like somebody gets their eyes poked and they just give them a warning. You know what I'm saying? Like it just doesn't make sense. If you're not going to enforce the rule, then why have the rule? Just disable it completely. Just let everybody just freely do whatever, and just let's be truthful about it. But it goes to show you that in college football, and I love college football, but it's the truth. It's nothing but pimps and hoes. Like everybody pretends like it's this pure kids playing for the game, blah, blah. No, it is not. I mean, it is always, Bruce, you know what it is. Huge money. But why? The pressure is so immense. It's like NFL pressure. In some ways, you might argue it's even heavier pressure, right? Especially when it comes to certain coaches and certain colleges, where football actually is bigger at some college universities than some NFL teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's be honest about that, right? Like Texas, like Notre Dame, like Ohio State, State. Every team you had in that top 10. The football there is bigger than half the teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
You understand what's about to happen? Huh? Guess who's that? Yeah. It's not Beanie Sieg or J-Ho.
No, it's not Beanie Sieg. It's not J-Hove. It's my main man, G. And of course, it's Big B, a.k.a. Baritone, the original host of the Format Podcast with my guys, Transformer and Sneed. Got what you need.
Yeah.
Holding it down for me for over a month while I was on vacay. And then after I got sick, these guys been doing a fantastic job. It's great to be back. What's going on, fellas?
Welcome back. We're glad to have you back, man. It's good to see you.
Appreciate it. I'm going to do the best I can.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Hope. H-O-P-E. Oh, snap.
No doubt.
We got Big Bruce back in the building.
All right, pardon me, y'all. I'm not 100% back, but, you know, I couldn't hold off any longer. You know, the streets been calling me, so, you know, I had to get back out there.
Yes, sir.
On them corners, you know what I'm saying? Now let me stop.
Bruce, loyal to the game, bro. Staying loyal to the game.
There it is, man. But it's good to be back. It's good to kick it with y'all. Hopefully we have a great show today. So you know what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna talk some football, man. It is football season. We have 3 college football topics, and then we're gonna get to NFL preseason before we get out of here. So before we do all that, you know what it is. Let's go ahead and let's get to the spiel, and then we'll come back and we'll get it rocking and rolling. If you're watching here on YouTube, make sure you go ahead, click that subscribe, that like, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast. We should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us a like, leave us a 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. Make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, make a note of it. The Format Podcast is live Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. And finally, if you're really and truly enjoying the content we're delivering you, make sure you hit that join button. There's going to be exclusive content here just for you. Just for who, Transformer?
You're watching. We see you. We know what you're doing.
You know what it is.
Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you know when Big Baritone is hitting you with the deep voice and coming in and saying what's happening and good morning and go Irish, go Ravens. I'm not saying the other team.
See, you know what? I expect nothing less.
Guess who's Bazak?
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to first topic. Hail to the victors. As you can see, 2 years ago, 2023 season, and Sneed hates this. The Michigan Wolverines won the national championship.
No.
Jim Harbaugh here celebrating and the Maize and Blue doing their thing, and he had his father Jack Harbaugh there, and I think John Harbaugh was there as well, his brother who coaches the Ravens, and who got it better than us? Nobody. But the celebration has been marred, the championship has been marred via a lot of scandal, and obviously we know there was the sign stealing scandal that Michigan was heavily involved in, and finally the punishment, quote unquote, from the NCAA has come down. So for anybody who's not aware, there was basically what was deemed to be an elaborate like basically illegal pregame scouting / sign stealing thing that Michigan was doing. They had a guy who's a graduate of Naval Academy, former Marine Corps officer, Connor Stallion, and he basically was going to all these, he was a staffer on Michigan's program. He was going to all these different places and videotaping through use of all types of illicit technology. He even had some shades that had a video recorder in it. Crazy. He was in the crowd. He was wearing disguises and walking onto the sidelines of opposing teams. And, he was stealing the signals and the plays and all that stuff. And so allegedly when Michigan found out, they canned him. But they still went on. They had a great team that year. They could run the ball. They could throw the ball. They could play, lockdown, suffocating defense. They ended up going into the playoffs and winning the national championship. But, a lot of people, of course, Buckeye fans among them, felt like a lot of that came as result of the cheating, right? And so before we even get into any of that, I find it interesting, right? I never put too much stock in that because, one, if I'm an opposing team, let's take some accountability here. You just got some random stranger walking up onto your sideline. You have no security. Anyone can just walk onto your sideline and do whatever. Like, no, let's take some accountability here. That's one. Two, when this was happening, all throughout the sports media, former players and whatnot were saying that sign stealing goes on at every level. It is extremely common. Now, did this guy take it to the next level? Maybe, but sign stealing is not new. Former Notre Dame All-American quarterback and former NFL quarterback Brady Quinn, he actually spoke to saying that he had an uncle or a cousin or something who was a coach in high school, and he was in 8th grade, and his uncle would literally sit him in the stands with binoculars and a notepad and tell him, write down everything they do, write down their signals, write down what the play is, blah, blah, blah. And so I say all this to say, this is far from unusual to know that sign stealing goes on. So I'm is it really that big a deal? And then my other point is, after they got rid of Connor Stallions and the sign stealing stopped, they still went on and won the games. And if you're these other teams, once you know the sign stealing is happening, because you had other Big Ten teams complaining that this was going on for a couple years prior, well, okay, at what point are you going to change your signs? Again, can we get a little bit of accountability here? But it is what it is. So before I even get into the punishments that was handed down and whatnot, I want to get you guys' thoughts on this whole sign stealing business and what you think about it.
Man, Jim got out of there. He got up out of there. Okay. He said, hey, we win. Bump that. I'm going to the league. I'm going to the NFL because now he has a 10-year ban and he can't coach college. You're like, fine, I'll do my 10 years in the NFL. NFL can't do nothing to me for what happened in college. So y'all can hold this 10-year. I can't coach to 2038. Man, let me go to the Chargers. Man, so shout out Jim, man. When the fire's too hot, you like, hey, man, we got the gold. Let's go ahead and get out of this mind real quick. And let's dip it back to the NFL, man. So, but you're right. To your point, sign stealing has been going on for a long time now. How egregious did they dapper into the sign stealing? That's he say, she say, or whatever, case may be. But it happens, man. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, man. We learned that from the Patriots. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So, I mean, what they suspended, I almost called him Shamar Moore. Sharon Moore. Yeah,
Wow.
Cheryl Moore for the open game. And what they got, the 2-game suspension from week 3 to week 4. So all of this punishment is being devied down, but Jimmy is in the league, so you don't have to go through no repercussion for that. But
G, what are your thoughts, man?
So it's a sign of lack of integrity, right? Not saying that it doesn't happen, but that's a stain on that program that's going to last for a long time. I know we ain't divvy into the actual punishments, but like Transformer said, Harbaugh got out of there and he went to the president, probably try to get a pardon on the low. But yeah, man, I mean, what does that do? Like somebody stealing your signs, that means they know the plays. And even in games that the other team win, you still on wax cheating. So, these guys, they coach the future players, and if they lack integrity, then a lot of these players probably lack that same integrity going forward. So, I think whatever punishment that comes down, I hopefully it's harsh, and it sends a message across the rest of the NCAA.
Okay, Snead.
I'm kind of with Gino on this. So if you don't have, well, I'm going to look at it from this perspective. If you have rules, they need to be enforced the way that they're designed, right? Like you can't sit there and make exceptions. You can't be lenient about it because you're going to say things like, well, everybody does it and this is common. And then you need to just eliminate the rule. Why have a rule that you're not really going to enforce or act on? Like the punishment, which the way I'm getting the impression is little to nothing for the people who committed the transgression. So if that's the case, then there really should be no rules. It's like like in certain, like there's certain movements in the UFC. It's like 12 to 6 elbows. There's all these rules. You can't poke eyes, but then like somebody gets their eyes poked and they just give them a warning. You know what I'm saying? Like it just doesn't make sense. If you're not going to enforce the rule, then why have the rule? Just disable it completely. Just let everybody just freely do whatever, and just let's be truthful about it. But it goes to show you that in college football, and I love college football, but it's the truth. It's nothing but pimps and hoes. Like everybody pretends like it's this pure kids playing for the game, blah, blah. No, it is not. I mean, it is always, Bruce, what it is. Huge money. But why? The pressure is so immense. It's like NFL pressure. In some ways, you might argue it's even heavier pressure, right? Especially when it comes to certain coaches and certain colleges, where football actually is bigger at some college universities than some NFL teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's be honest about that, right? Like Texas, like Notre Dame, like Ohio State, every team you had in that top 10. The football there is bigger than half the teams in the NFL.
Yeah,
that's right.
Right. So everybody's stealing signs. Everybody's cheating. We're going to pretend like we care about rules. Like Gino was saying, we're going to pretend like there's integrity. We're just going to put on the show. We're just going to pretend. It's all optics, bro. So why even have the rules? I say just dismantle them completely. You're not enforcing them. There's no repercussions. Like the only thing you remember TCU and the death sentence for what happened there? SMU, my bad. Yes. SMU. Like if you're going to do something, it has to be heavy or else it doesn't change. Everybody's just like, it's just the cost of doing business. You know what I'm saying? Like when a business receives a fine for doing something, let's say the business generates $100 billion of annual revenue. You fine them for $10 million. You think they care? That's a business expense. They'll write that off. These colleges look at this stuff like business expenses.
Agreed. No, those are all great points. I just see it like the bigger thing for me is we can all still watch and see that Michigan did it on the field, right? They beat their biggest rival in Ohio State. Again, this is post Connor Stallions, right? They beat them, and they out physicaled them, and then they went on.
Wouldn't you play with more confidence if you knew the play's coming?
Yeah, but do we know that at that point they knew that? And if you're Ryan Day, who we know was one of the biggest guys screaming from the mountaintop about Michigan cheating, you're telling me he didn't change any signals? He didn't change any of the plays? That can't be right. That can't be right. You're one of the best coaches in the country. You didn't change anything, even though you knew your opposition was cheating? Does that sound like it makes sense to you?
The only time Michigan ever won was during the cheating era. How much winning were they doing before this?
Didn't Harbaugh walk in and immediately turn them into a 10-win program?
Did they win a national championship?
Well, no, but a lot of teams don't win national championships.
Okay, but that's my point. So now I've got this. I have to reconcile. They won a championship the year that they're being charged with cheating.
So my only thing is, and I know it sounds probably like I'm a Michigan apologist here, which I'm not, but my bigger thing is, unless we can directly attribute how much the cheating helped, right? Especially after the dismissal of Connor Stallions from the staff, then it's like,
Then why do guys take performance enhancing drugs? That people say that I still got to hit the ball, I still got to make the throw, I still got to play the game. Then why did you take them if they don't matter?
No, to get an event. I didn't say it didn't matter. I didn't say it didn't matter.
That's so at what point are we going to pick one side or the other? Are we going to say we need to come down with the punishment and make this hurt so that way we can try to prevent this from happening in the future? Or are we just going to say, they got caught and life goes on?
Right. Well, I think, and we'll get to the punishment in a second, I think a big part of this too is I believe that the NCAA is still very afraid of the Big Ten and the SEC breaking off and doing their own thing and then taking the rest of the
little bit of politics,
power conferences with them. So they have to try and show something, but not come down too hard and really piss these guys off, because these guys are, pretty close to trying to do that anyway. But they're trying to play that careful balance, right? Because the college football playoff is not even like NCAA regulated anyway. So they being the NCAA, they see the writing on the wall in terms of major college football and where it's going, but they're trying to hold on to it as long as they can because of the money. That's my thought. I don't know that that's true, but that's my thought.
Good thought.
But yeah, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the actual punishment. So Michigan had already imposed a two game suspension on Coach Sharon Moore this year. That was games three and four.
Yep.
And that's Central Michigan and Nebraska. But coincidentally, they made sure that he'll be coaching in week 2 against Oklahoma. That's going to be a hell of a game too. So, it's one of those things you do the self-imposed, but you don't hurt yourself too much with it. You do it in games that you're pretty sure you can win. So you got that. And then I believe the NCAA imposed an additional game for the following season suspension on Sharon Moore. So I don't think that's going to be terrible unless the NCAA dictates what game it's for, right? Like if they said, okay, we're going to put it on them for the Ohio State game or something like that, or the Penn State game, then okay, that's not a slap on the wrist, right? That's a real punishment. Okay, so let's see. Here is the list of penalties for the Wolverines. 4 years of probation. So I don't know exactly what that means because I didn't see anything about them taking scholarships. I didn't see anything about a postseason ban. So I'm not sure exactly what the 4 years of probation references.
But that's okay, Bruce. That's good. Why should those guys have to pay? I'm with that. That's okay. People didn't ask for this, bro.
Right. Well, I'm just saying in terms of what you were saying earlier about if you're going to penalize them, make it hurt, right? So there's that. All right. The financial penalties are a $50,000 fine, which that's nothing, plus 10% of the budget of the football program. That hits harder. a fine equivalent to the anticipated loss of all postseason compensation revenue sharing associated with the 2025 and 2026 football seasons. So I'm thinking that's probably less than $10 million because all that revenue sharing has to split with every team in the Big Ten. A fine equivalent to the cost of 10% of the scholarships awarded in Michigan's football program for the 2025-2026 academic year. So that's a little more. A 25% reduction in football official visits during the 25-26 season, which one recruiting source says doesn't make any sense because official visits are now unlimited. Yeah, that's crazy. So you reduce them even though they're unlimited. So that's to
How
your
do you
point.
reduce unlimited?
Right. You know. Okay, so that's the paper tiger thing. A 14-week prohibition on recruiting communications in the football program during the probation period. So are they saying people from the program can't reach out to potential recruits? I mean, that's cool. I can say, hey, I work for Michigan. All right, I'm gonna write all this stuff up. Hey, Sneed, call this kid and give him all this information, right? Like, pretty sure there's relatively easy ways around that, but again, they got to do that. Jim Harbaugh receives a 10-year show cause order restricting him from all athletically related activities during the show cause period, which will begin on August 7th, 2028, at the conclusion of his 4-year show cause order from a previous case. Now, for those of y'all not familiar with a show cause order, in the NCAA, a show cause order is one of the harshest penalties that can be placed on a coach or sometimes administrator who is found guilty of breaking NCAA rules. Here's what it means. A show cause order requires any school that wants to hire that coach during the specified period to show cause to the NCAA as to why they should be allowed to do so. The school would have to explain how they plan to monitor the coach and ensure no further violations occur. In practice, this makes the coach essentially unemployable at the college level for the duration of the penalty unless the school is willing to take on the extra scrutiny and restrictions. But my thing about that is they said that Bruce Pearl got a show cause order from Tennessee, but he's now coaching at Auburn and they went to the Final Four. So if a team really wants you, not saying that Jim Harbaugh is planning on going back to college because, you know, he's coaching flowing hair now, but if you
Yes, sir. Yes,
oh
sir.
man,
Needed that one, bro.
needed
Sunshine.
that one. Right. But if you
A lovely day.
lovely day, if you really wanted to hire a coach that has a show cause order, then you do it and you make it work. So I don't know why they're saying that it essentially makes a coach, you know, unhireable. You can do it if you want. Sharon Moore receives a 2-year show cause order during which he is suspended from a total of 3 games. Michigan self-imposed a 2-game suspension. We talked about that. And then 1 next season. Apart from the 3-game suspension, Moore is not prohibited from engaging in coaching or other athletically related activities during the show cause period. Connor Stallions, the guy who actually was doing the spying, he got an 8-year show cause order. And Denard Robinson, former Michigan quarterback under Rich Rodriguez, received a 3-year show cause order because I guess he's back with the program. So this is what we got. So Michigan's going to have to give up some dough. They got these show cause orders. It really does seem like a slap on the wrist because at the end of the day, no wins got violated. Not violated, but
Rescinded.
vacated. No wins got vacated. They still have the national championship, and we all watched them win it on the field in dominant fashion. So it's like, whatever.
But Bruce, what about the opinion of the public? So we're talking about a guy in Harbaugh,
right,
who always consistently publicly push the narrative about compliance and rules. So we're talking about a guy who was promoting all these good things, but then he runs a program that is clearly dismissive of rules and compliance of the rules. Right? Do you see the disconnect? And that's a cultural thing. And that's not unique to the Wolverines, and that's not unique to Michigan or Harbaugh, but that's where the issue is. See, it's win at all cost. That's the culture. This punishment doesn't address that culture.
How many NCAA punishments have you seen that you feel really address those type of issues in any of these programs, not just Michigan?
I can't think of many.
Right. So, G, let me get your thoughts on this, and then we'll go to Transformer. Sneed and I have been kind of monopolizing this discussion. Well, where are you on all this, man? What do you feel about this penalty? Do you think it's worth it? Do you think they even should have done? Where are you, man?
I mean, they're trying to hit the program, right? It's a small slap in the face to the program as a stain on their record, because now every time this will come up anytime you mention Michigan, and so hey, this could be the difference between kids going to play for them and not. Them getting those top recruits and not, like, it don't necessarily mean the dollar amount will really like hurt the program, but that stain, man, I think that'll, a lot of players probably don't want, because this is like a first lap. They do something else, then I'm pretty sure they're gonna have the sanctions gonna be even higher on them. So
Maybe.
yeah, that's, man,
Maybe.
they didn't take anything from them but money and
Exactly.
time with recruits. That was it.
That's it.
That was
And these colleges print money.
Easily. That's like chump change to these guys, man. I mean, the punishment does nothing but put them in the news articles. The Jerry Jones. We're just going to talk about it. Other than that, it does nothing.
Nothing.
Is this still going to be happening in the NCAA? Yes. It's still going to happen. They're just going to find another way to do it. They're going to find another way to cover it up.
This is why I drew the polarity to the whole thing about the performance enhancing drugs. If the punishment is lesser than the potential gains and outcomes, people are just weighing off the opportunity cost.
Yeah.
It's just the cost of doing business. If they get caught, it's a slap on the wrist. If they don't get caught, I'm winning.
Yeah. Like, what's the risk reward? You know what I mean? Like, the risk is down. We might
the
get
risk
caught, might
is
get a
low, the
slap.
reward is high, right?
Yeah. But the reward is, I mean, we're gonna be better. You know, we know everything that they're doing before they even go out on the field. You know, so the punishment, like I said, it's nothing. It's just something to put in the news articles. Oh yeah, we NCAA, we did something. We fined so and so. This is a no show cause order for such and such and such and such. But did you stop the problem? No. Just like, okay, we're aware that you guys are doing this now.
I don't
but
even
it went public, so now we got to do something about it.
Transformer. I don't even think Harbaugh's the most rotten one. I think there's worse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people are gonna say, "Oh, Sneed's an LSU guy and he's a Buckeye guy." Jim Harbaugh, there's no way he was the worst one. He's just one of several who probably have, like, in my opinion, I think Nick Saban's probably the worst at everything that it's ever happened in college football.
Oh, absolutely.
You see what
Everything
I'm saying?
ran through St.
That's why
Nick.
when
Yes.
NIL came about, he ran up out of there. He's like, damn,
This is
everybody else
when they changed the rules to the game.
Yeah.
The ones that were winning get mad as hell.
Yeah. That's a fact. Yeah, Dabo wasn't happy. Kirby Smart has stuff to say. It's really
they were all winning. The game was theirs.
Rigged. Facts. Yeah.
Rigged.
All right, y'all. So this is what we're gonna do. We have the link pinned in the chat. So we're gonna go ahead and let you guys weigh in. But let's keep it short here. We're gonna keep it to because we have more people on the panel today.
By the way, the lawyers said that the investigation was rigged.
Did they?
I did hear that.
The lawyers publicly came out and said that this was basically a witch hunt against Michigan.
Well, you know what, though? Michigan does have one of the best law schools in the country, so you know
of course they do.
You're gonna have some really legitimate,
some very aggressive lawyers, right? Yeah.
And we did leave out the point that I neglected to mention this. Michigan will be appealing. Yeah.
Which is just delayed. It's just delaying whatever the hell they want to do.
All right, let's do this, guys.
Steve,
we have the link pinned in the top of the chat. Steve, Steve, if you got something to say, you want to call in, go ahead and call us. I guess you're not able to do the StreamYard piece, but we'll take Edward first, and then we will go ahead and we'll take Steve next. Edward, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? Can y'all hear me?
What up?
Babe, what's up, man? Gino, How you doing, man? Man, get that out of my face. I don't want to see that glove. You use that for. I
No
guess you
glove.
used it, man. Hey, no glove, no love.
Man, keep it brief, man. Don't waste your time, brother. What you got?
Hey, man, I'm gonna keep it brief. Hey, yo, B, welcome back, baby. How you doing, man? That's
I'm
just want to
maintaining, man.
show, just let's show some love, dog. That's all it is, man. You back in the streets, man. I got a
Try.
Mercedes parked out. I got a Mercedes parked outside for you, B.
I appreciate that, brother. Appreciate
You
that.
know, but yeah, man, I just want to call in, man, and just say welcome back, man. Y'all just keep up the good work. I'm in here getting these games, man. That's all I'm doing,
No
man.
doubt, man. No doubt. Get it.
All right, then, man. Y'all have a good one, bro.
100-pound
All right,
dumbbells, bench
man.
press. Let's go, bro.
That's 225, bro. That's it. I ain't gonna be like B on there, you know. That's
I know, right?
that's him. All
Yeah.
right, fellas.
All right, fellas.
Yes, sir. Love.
Shoot, man. Speaking of the work, I just started getting back to it, man. I
Yeah,
definitely.
you're gonna be winded when you get back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It ain't easy.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm sore as a mug right now. But let's get Steve up here. King of the chat, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Steve, why you wearing a hat, bro? You gotta do the thing,
What?
bro.
Yes.
Come
No,
on,
man, you
bro.
gotta. No, man. Take that. There you go. There he is. There it is. There he is.
Yo,
GQ.
Hair in the
sunshine,
front.
bro.
Let it
Mr.
flow.
GQ himself.
Let it
Steve
flow.
has flowing hair up front. There we go. What you got, Steve? King of the chat.
First off, Bruce, it's good to see you back and healthy, brother.
Thank you, man. I'm almost there.
Hey, man, still praying for you, bro. I'm
I
still
appreciate
praying.
that.
Yeah, man. The Michigan topic is touchy because actually, Bruce, I heard you call in yesterday to John's show.
Yeah.
And I think you make good points where it's like, yeah, these guys physically have to, the application is still there. They still have to physically play the game, win their matchups, and do these things. But I also feel like Snead brought up a great point where, yeah, Harbaugh came in and turned Michigan around to a 10-win team again. So he brought them back to relevance. But we can clearly see during this 5-year, 6-year cheating scandal, it's like they went from that 10-win relevance to now a national prominence.
Okay.
So I definitely think there is an effect that we can see that the cheating does have an outcome. Like there is substance there. Although I would agree, it's like you still have to recruit right. You still have to do all the X's and O's right.
Mm-hmm.
But Steve, they were doing all those things before and after the cheating scandal, and they're not getting the same results.
Well,
what do you mean by before and after?
Before the cheating, before they got caught.
Mm-hmm.
After the cheating, after they got caught, they're not getting the results they got as during the cheating.
Oh no, that's what I'm agreeing with. Like,
that's the thing. See, if they were still having the success, then you'd be like, oh, well, it doesn't matter all that much. But like,
well, okay, but we also got to take the nuance in real quick. I'm sorry to take your time, Steve. Give me a quick second. One, they beat the Buckeyes last year without cheating and with a much depleted roster. Two, we have to take into account that after the championship season, they lost so much talent to the NFL, to the transfer portal, and to graduation. Like that was not
team
easy.
Does it's not unique
to that level?
Well, to any level.
Okay.
What I'd say is I actually do agree with that, where it's like anecdotally, if we were to take last year away because of the points Bruce brought up, because they did lose a lot to the draft. They lost a lot. McCarthy, running back, all these guys, defensive guys that went to the NFL.
Yeah.
And they had a regime change as far as the face with Harbaugh. Now, I know, is it Sherrod Moore? He was still on that staff, so it's not like you're totally changing everything.
Yeah.
But losing a guy like Harbaugh does have an impact. So let's just ignore last year. But we can clearly see pre-cheating scandal, during cheating scandal, there is a difference of a 10-win relevance versus national prominence. So I do think there is an effect. And I would say, I think Snead made another great point where it's like, this is like, it's almost theater. This punishment is optics only. It's not going to affect Michigan's football program. And this is where I was saying in the chat, like, let's say this is an Arizona State. Let's say this is a Wake Forest. Let's say it's a team that's like the NCAA would have no problem.
Hell hath no
bringing
fury.
the hammer. Yeah, they would have no problem bringing the hammer down on them. But because we know of money and revenue, they're going to give Michigan this like slap on the wrist where it's like, dude, $20 million to the Michigan alumni donors. That's like
make
me
that
and
a
you
week
leaving
one.
a $20 tip.
Yeah.
So,
That's
so
not-
Steve, follow up to Bruce's point about not rocking the boat too much and pissing off these Big Ten powerhouses.
Oh yeah, dude. This is
So now
this
they're
all
playing
comes down to
politics.
money.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's politics and money, and then I 100% agree. But I think it's contextual. Where yes, Bruce makes good points. Where it's like you still have to recruit, you still have to have the right players, you still have to accomplish in the application of winning football games. I totally agree with that. But having said that, it's like, is there a distinct competitive advantage when you go from being a 9-10 win relevant team to now it's like, man, now we're winning championships, we're going to playoffs multiple years in a row. So it's like, yeah, it gave them that extra edge, I think, when you are dealing with a conference like the Big Ten, similar to like the SEC. It's like, this isn't the ACC, this isn't the Big 12, where it's like those little advantages can give you the separation in those ultra competitive conferences. And Snead's right. Like, this comes down to politics. Like when Michigan's in the room, when these conferences are getting together, of course, when they speak, their voice is resonating more, and you have to placate to them more than you do in Indiana or Northwestern.
Fair enough. All right, Steve, thanks for the call, man. We're going to leave it there, and we're going to head to the next topic unless we got any more, man. Thanks for checking in with us. Appreciate you.
Hey, thank you, guys.
Chapel.
Yes, sir. Stay blessed, everybody. Bye-bye, Twizzler.
Same to you, man. Steve is a sick dude.
King of the chat, bro. King of the chat.
King of the chat for sure.
Bye.
Right.
Bye.
All right. Anybody else have any last thoughts before we move on? I don't know if we're gonna get any more.
This does nothing. We're back to the same old thing, man.
Yeah.
They just Jerry Jones this thing. Let's put it in the waves. Let's document what we did and back to regular schedule programming come week one.
There we
That's
go.
what I got. That's all.
It won't even be a topic of conversation after week one.
No.
Why should it? Because they play Oklahoma in week 2. That's gonna be a hell of a game. Man, so you got real quick, you got Ohio State, Texas week 1, Michigan, Oklahoma week 2. Not bad. And of course, you have Notre Dame, Miami week 1 as well. And LSU, Clemson.
And you're talking all the national televised games. Like these are going to be watched by millions.
Oh yeah. A lot of big time TV juice there.
A lot of
good
wings
stuff.
and good food being ate. Like
a couple more weeks.
Yes.